We are in one of the hottest and newest communities here in Jacksonville, Florida, and we're about to check out this amazing model home right behind me with some unbelievable features. We're also going to dive into just what it means to live in and move to Jacksonville, Florida, and why so many people are doing it today. So let's get into this model home tour right now. All right, let's get right into this amazing model home tour. And as we start, you're going to see right away that the builder on this did some nice pavers for the front porch, and you get this massive front porch. You get front porch on both sides, all covered, obviously wrapped with that hardy board, which if you see our previous videos, we do see a lot of hardy board in this area. Most homes will be hardy board because of its durability, but overall, amazing entryway, really gives you that high-end luxurious feel that you would expect to get for a home in this area and in this price point. Then it brings us into our house, which you're gonna see here. We have a nice, really tall, door. When we come in, tons of natural light coming through with it, with all the glass. Just really well done as it brings us into our foyer, where we're greeted with these 12-foot ceilings. So I love when the builder goes taller with that ceiling height. The 12-foot ceilings just makes the space feel that much bigger. But then the builder even went above that and even included tons of trays throughout the ceiling of this floor plan. So those tray ceilings are gonna be an extra foot of height. So where you see those, we actually have 13-foot ceilings there, and they did a nice wood inlay with it as well to really finish it off. As well as we have this really beautiful, great size office space here in the front of this floor plan. Now, talking with the builder, this is actually something they've just added on to this specific floor plan because they had a little sister, so to speak, floor plan that didn't have this office. And what they learned is this office is something that people really did like. And I can see why, because with this space, you have the crown molding, you have the wood paneling for the walls to kind of add more of a look to it, more depth to it. And you still get that natural light looking out to your front porch, which we just looked at. So it really does complement everything very well. So again, if you want to know more about these finishes, about this builder, this floor plan, where we're at today, you just gotta call me, text me, email me so we can go over all of that. Also, we do have this beautiful wood flooring throughout the whole first floor. So I love to see when builders do that, because that is something that we're starting to see become more popular again here in our area. Gone are the grays, and here to stay again are the browns. Well, let's go head out and look at those two bedrooms to our, I guess, my right, maybe your left, right now. With these two bedrooms and bathroom, this is gonna be a very general way to kind of do the bedrooms here in Jacksonville, here in Florida. You see a lot of builders in our area kind of do this way, where they do bedrooms flanking the bathroom for those bedrooms. But right away, let's actually start with the one in the front. In this front bedroom here, really great size. I love when the guest bedrooms still feel like true guest bedrooms and you don't feel like you're packed in, and this gives you just that. Now, part of it's because we have those tall ceilings, which I do absolutely love, and part of it also is that natural light we have coming off our front porch, but it really is a great size space. Because honestly, this house we're in today is a great size house. We will get into that throughout this video on just how big it is, but it's nice when all the spaces, you can feel that size. In addition, we do have our standard closet size, but I do like the fact that they did the French doors there instead of those pesky bifolds that always constantly break. So that's just one of those things that it's minimal, but it goes a long way to really get that high-end feel that you want to have for a home in this area. In addition, as we continue through, you will notice the trim throughout all the doors are going to be our Craftsman style trim. Now, that Craftsman style trim is definitely something that can be an upgrade with some builders. Other builders, it could be a standard, but it definitely ties into that high-end feel because it is more work to put in. Now, between the two bedrooms are our first bathroom. Now, this bathroom, they do give us our double vanity, which they did a very simplistic white quartz countertop, and they paired it with white cabinets and that almost bubblegum kind of tile, white tile floors. So a lot of white, which sometimes you would think, man, that's too much white, but they actually offset that with that green wallpaper, which actually ties in really well with the pink tile. Now, surprisingly, we don't see many showers with pink tile, to be quite honest here, but because of the fact that that's the focal point of the space, and they kept everything else white and simple, it actually pairs very well with the green and really is a nice contrast. Now, maybe not something I would do with my house personally, but I actually love the way it looks here in this model home. And then it brings us to our other bedroom. So this is gonna be our second bedroom so far. In this bedroom, they have it more designed as like a nursery to kind of show what you could do with it. Again, so those tall ceilings, so those wood floors, still have natural light with the singular window here, but it still is a very good size. You know, even though they have it as a nursery, you could easily have this as another bedroom for guests to stay, for, you know, for older kids to stay in. You still have that standard size closet with the French doors. So overall, really well done, and just really feels like a custom home despite it being in more of a semi-custom neighborhood. And that's what's so amazing about this builder we're looking at today, is everything does give that custom feel, despite being able to just choose their floor plans and go with it. And there's still more to see, so let's now go across the way and check out some more of this amazing house. So on this side of the house, we have quite a bit to go over. First of all, as we come on the other side of the foyer, we have our laundry room. So first floor laundry is always suggested for homes here in Jacksonville, Florida, because of the fact that most of the bedrooms are gonna be on the first floor here, including the primary, which we will get to shortly. So again, just wait, we're almost there. But with this laundry room, I will say, I love the size of it. I mean, this is truly, again, truly a space that you don't have to worry about bumping into walls. You know, you have plenty of room to work. You still get that sink, which is ever so popular in other parts of the country, but is only just now becoming more popular here. You know, the builder here, they did tons of tons of cabinetry up top, as well as down below, all with soft close, which by the way, soft close is not always most expensive to do, but always suggested because it definitely does give it a finished look as well. You have your side-by-side washer dryer, and then they finished it off too with a herringbone tile design with really small, thin subway tile. And it really does give it a nice, almost rustic look that actually pairs very well with all the other finishes of this home. And then we do have a little area here, a little bench that you could put in next to your 3-car garage. So that way, again, you have a spot to be able to take your shoes off when you get in for the day. So I'd love to see that as well. We do have our stairwell upstairs, which we're just about to get to. And I love the fact that they continue those wood treads up top to kind of go with the wood floors down below. And then we still do have one more bedroom and bathroom over here, which is gonna be for, again, maybe an adult child, maybe again for another mother-in-law, father-in-law, whatever the case may be. But with this space, right away, we're gonna see here, we have the bedroom and the bathroom. So the bedroom here, similar size to the first two, maybe slightly bigger, but where you're gonna see a difference with this bedroom compared to the first two is the closet. So that closet over there is a amazing size, super deep, little narrow, but super deep, tons of room to be able to store whatever you need to store there, whether if it's additional luggage, additional clothing, or again, keep it for guests. I love to see that because here in Jacksonville, people do tend to want as much storage space as possible. So to be able to give you that at an amazing price, it just makes too much sense. And if you want to know more about that price, or the builder, like I said previously, all you gotta do is just reach out to me. But then this bathroom here, they did do a shower only, walk-in shower, and they did it with a bit of a step down here. So that way, you don't have to worry about water getting into the rest of the bathroom. That step down, depending on the age of the person, maybe it's a little bit more severe than you'd want, but I love the look of it. I like the fact that they went up to the ceiling with the tile in all these bathrooms. It really gives it a finished, complete look. And also we have the little cubby there for our soaps, our shampoos. So it just makes a ton of sense to do it that way. And then they finished it off again with a single vanity with the simple white countertop and white cabinetry. So really great space for really any sort of guest you may have staying here. And it's nice because it kind of makes them feel like it's their own area of the house. I like when I go into these floor plans and you have distinct areas for every person, whether if it's the bedrooms for the kids on one side of the house, the other bedroom there for maybe mother-in-law, but also, or more of an adult child, but also upstairs where there's some amazing features as well. So let's go ahead and head up there now and check out those features right this second. So upstairs, I love what the builder did here. Starting off, you're gonna notice here, we have this big open room behind us. But before we get there, check out the closet space that you get with this upper level. Now this upper level here, you have a bedroom, a bathroom, a massive closet, and a loft. So it really could be almost like a next gen upstairs, maybe like a place like a mother-in-law place to be able to hang out. You have a lot of options you can do with this specific floor plan, which I absolutely love. So again, if you want to know more about this floor plan, about these finishes, you got to reach out to me. You can call, text, email me. Always happy to help answer any and all questions on the builder, the floor plan, or even where we're at today. But right away, as you'll see here with this loft, we have a wet bar as a part of it. Again, kind of highlighting that whole maybe next gen mother-in-law feel. You could easily put like a little mini fridge here. Obviously you have the sink. I'm sure you could do like a little microwave here as well. To give someone the ability to really utilize this upper level area as their own area. And I do love the cabinetry they did here. You have some soft closed cabinets there. You have some open cabinetry as well. The builder still did a nice tile backsplash with it as well. So really just overall very well done. But then as we continue through, you'll notice with this loft, it's a really good sized loft. For some houses, this could be plenty big enough to be your main living room. But with this home, this amazing model home we're in today, this loft really gives you everything you could ask for a second story loft. So whether if it's more for like a mother-in-law, or maybe you have more of an adult child or an older teenager, or even just kids and you want them to have their own space to be able to have friends over, to have their own separate space, to be able to have like a game room or whatnot, you have all that and more with this specific floor plan. So I absolutely love when builders kind of give you multiple entertaining areas with a house. And this home doesn't give you one, doesn't give you two, it actually gives you three, which we will kind of dive into all of them throughout this video. But then over here on the other side of our wet bar, we have that bedroom like I had mentioned. In this bedroom, we have so much good natural light. We still have those really tall ceilings up here, which you don't always get with these two-story houses. Sometimes builders on their second story have to go a little bit shorter on their ceiling height due to the fact that here where we're at today, this specific county only lets you go for the height of the house up to 35 feet for the top of the roof line. It only gives you so much to work with inside that roof line. But again, the windows, a lot of natural light. We still have our closet space inside the bedroom as well, which is a really cool feature. So you have that massive closet for storage when we first came up, as well as the secondary closet for the bedroom. And then we get to the bathroom. And this bathroom does give you more than enough space to be able to kind of get around, to be able to utilize. I absolutely love when the builders go up to the ceiling with their tile, and I really like this tile choice. It's nothing over the top, but it's a very clean, very simplistic subway tile design that pairs very well with some of the other finishes that you see in this home. And it really allows some of the different other elements to really take over, whether if it's the furniture choices, if it's the cabinetry colors, the countertop colors. It really does give you a lot more to work with as well for that. Then we have our single vanity up here, which I love the fact that the builder did that gold hardware to go with this quartz countertop that has some whites and some browns in it. And then again, the brown cabinets to also pair very nicely with those countertops. So overall, really well done up here, and really gives you everything you could need for a teenager, an adult child, maybe a mother-in-law or next gen setup. Which then will take us back downstairs to go see more of the house. So let's head down there right now. Now let's get to what you really want to see, which is the kitchen, the living, the dining room, the trifecta of the house, the meat and potatoes of the house, where the magic happens. So first and foremost, let's check out this amazing kitchen. So you're gonna see here with this kitchen, well, first of all, what you're gonna see is you're gonna see this massive island. This is something that is very amazing to see, especially how it opens up to the living room, which we'll get to in a second. But this island, they kept it simple with the countertops. This is something that the builder really highlights with most of their floor plans and how they do their models, is they keep certain elements simple, like the countertops, but then they'll have some fun with some of the other features, like the cabinets, where in this case we have those two-tone cabinets. We have more of a grayish green for the island to go with the more white for the outer area. In addition, we have this massive fridge. Now this fridge here is most likely going to be an upgrade, and if you want to know more of which things we're looking at today are upgrades versus standard, you just gotta call me, text me, email me, reach out. But this fridge, I mean, it is absolutely beautiful. This Thermador fridge gives it that high-end look and really is what you expect to see of a home as amazing as this one. And what's really cool is, again, if you want something like this, you can get it at the right price. You just gotta know who to talk to. In addition, here we do have our pantry. Pantry is probably a little bit smaller than you expect to see for a home of this size, but it is still a good sized pantry overall. And they did do some nice cabinetry in there just to show you what you could do with it as well to really maximize the size of it. We do have our microwave down below. And the reason it's down below, and again, it's a really nice microwave, is because of the fact that we have this huge gas stovetop, or I guess gas oven combo. So this gas oven combo, or gas stovetop oven combo, the reason why I always like to highlight it is because not every community here in Jacksonville, believe it or not, has gas. But a lot of the newer communities, especially the one we're in today, has gas automatically across the board. So if you're someone from up north or out west and you have to have or want to have gas hookups in your house, ready to go, already piped in, this could be an amazing community for you to really check out. But overall, I love this massive 6-burner gas stovetop with the additional griddler areas or flat top as well in the middle. I also love this pot filler that they also included with the model. And the pot filler is not something that every builder will do, but when you see it in the model, it means that you normally can do it with the builder at the right price. And then they finished it off with this beautiful top as well. So again, just for ventilation and whatnot, really does do everything you need to do there. And again, you also have the tile backsplash with it. On the other side, we have with the island, we have a massive farm sink. Now, I like the farm sink. It's not for everybody, I get it. Sometimes you do lose some additional cabinetry in the front or just that faux look in the front. But overall, I love the single sink. Kohler tends to be the brand of choice for that here. The hardware they did as well just really complements it very well. And then again, with the cabinetry as well, we have that greenish gray that I mentioned, which really pairs well with the white and allows it to kind of stand out. Because again, the island is where you want to see it really stand out. You have your dishwasher as well right there. And then it brings us to our dining room. Now this dining room is a great size, but even more than that, there's two things about this dining room that I absolutely love. And I know I say that a lot, but there really are two specific items here. And one is all the natural light. We have window walls on our exteriors on the side and the back, which really does give us so much natural light, which if you're from Florida or if you're looking to move to Florida, understand that is what we love here is that natural light. Up north, it can be dreary sometimes. Here, we have a beautiful blue sky out today. That is what we love here. In addition, we do have that tray ceiling I mentioned with the crown molding and that wood inlay. So it gives that extra foot of ceiling height, which really just makes the space feel that much bigger. But here we have a 6-seater table. To be honest, you could easily do an 8-seater table, maybe even a 10 depending on the size of the table. So plenty of space here for whether if you have a smaller family or a larger family. It doesn't matter how large the gathering is, you can fit everyone you need in this amazing house. And then we have the living room. As for the living room, overall, I love the size of it. I mean, this is a massive, massive living room. Like I said upstairs, that loft, space upstairs, that could be your typical living room for a lot of houses. But a house like this, you get this massive living room to really be able to have and host gatherings. Doesn't matter how many friends or family you have, this is the house for you for that reason. You also have the really high ceilings in here with the crown molding, and believe it or not, if they could have put a tray in here, they would have, but again, due to the requirements on the height of the roof and keeping the height of the second floor ceilings as high as possible, unfortunately, that was just one thing they couldn't do here. But man, can you imagine? In addition, we also have this dry bar here, which is great for again, for those gatherings, for your wine, for your whiskeys, your bourbons, just your alcohol in general, or if you don't drink, your non-alcoholic beverages. And I really like the way that the builder did this. They really gave it a sophisticated look with how they did some of this open cabinetry, open storage, so to speak, right here. Obviously, all of this is going to be soft close to match everything else as well. And again, they kept the cabinets and the countertops simple, so that way everything else could stand out. Sometimes it's the cabinets, the countertops that have to stand out. In this case, they kept that simple to let everything else stand out. Then we get to, believe it or not, our third living space, so to speak. And this living space is down below, right off of your living room. This living space also has that tray ceiling, so you do get that extra foot of height. And overall, I mean, this is another great space that, again, for hosting gatherings, as I mentioned, it really gives you everything you could want and need. Again, if you want to make this like a room for a pool table, if you want to make it a room for, ping pong, or if you want to do, mahjong or like a poker room, I mean, you could do different things with it. If you just wanted to have more like a formal living room, you could as well. And you still do get natural light here that really brightens up the space and really allows it to kind of stand out as well, despite it being your third living space of this home. And in addition, you still also get more storage underneath the stairwell off of the space. So as I mentioned, you can never have too much storage here in Jacksonville. Even if you don't need the storage right away, what I can tell you is people here do tend to fill it. So most likely, when you do have a house and it has more space than you need, it's only temporary, not gonna be forever. But overall, I do love this layout. I love this floor plan for a lot of these reasons. It's an amazing floor plan built by a local builder. So again, if you want to know more about who the builder is, this floor plan, what it would take to get into an amazing house like this, all you gotta do is reach out to me with a call, a text, an email. It's gonna be on the screen, super easy to do, and we can go deeper into your home search and figure out where to go from there. But that being said, we're not done yet. We still gotta go outside. Before even that, let's check out that primary bedroom, which has some amazing features as well. So next up is gonna be checking out our primary bedroom, which is right off of the living room we just ended on. In this primary bedroom, it really does give us a lot to like. We have something off to the side here. We're not gonna show you that just yet. We're gonna get there. There's a reason why we're holding off on it. But the primary bedroom here, as you come in, I mean, it is amazing. The pure size of this room gives you what you'd expect to have at a much higher price point than what this home starts out at. But at this price point, it really does give you everything you could want. In addition to the size, we have that tray ceiling with crown molding, with the wood inlay, with the recessed lighting. I mean, what more could you want? I mean, maybe you want a ceiling fan. Builders always put ceiling fans in. They like their chandeliers or light fixtures more so. But what more could you want with the space? And I mean, just to highlight the size, I mean, you have a full-on couch in this bedroom. So, I mean, overall, between the couch, the massive dresser, the nightstands, the king-size bed, it really does give you that elegance, that expectation of, we're here, this is our house, this is what it should be. It gives you a place where you want to come in at night, and you do get all that natural light with the feature that we're going to get to in a second. Don't want to give too much away, but it gives you all that natural light, so that way, again, you feel like this is why I chose to move to Jacksonville, Florida, was for these reasons here. Then it takes us to our primary bathroom. So this primary bathroom, as we come in, we have two vanities separated by our primary closet. Again, the builder here, they kept the countertops simple. We have our simple quartz countertops. And again, they have more options than that, but they kept that simple so other features of this bathroom could really stand out. So again, we have our brown cabinetry to go with the countertops. We have our gold hardware throughout. And then we come over here and we have our massive soaker tub and really good sized shower with natural light. Let's not forget the natural light. I mean, I know I mentioned a lot, but we do have a lot of natural light here. But with this shower, things that I want to highlight is it's that seamless glass enclosure. It has that step down so that way it keeps all the water inside the shower. You have your handles to the shower heads right next to the door, so you don't have to worry about getting wet when you go in there to turn the water on. They still give us our insert for our soaps and shampoos, but even more so, we get a rain head. I mean, I absolutely love when the shower has a rain head as one of the secondary heads. It really just allows you to do so much with it and really just finishes off the look and gives you, again, I know I'm a little redundant here, but it gives you that high-end feel, that expectation you'd have for a home in this area at this price point. And then to finish it off, we have our walk-in closet. So this walk-in closet here, as you'll notice, we have cabinetry all around. And the cabinetry all around these custom closets really shows what you can do with the space. And it really, truly is a walk-in closet where, I mean, it really gives you everything you could want and need. I even kind of like the little French door effect when you come in to really just give it a really cool look there. So again, not saying you would do this with this floor plan or any other floor plan with this custom cabinetry, especially with the builder, but it gives you an idea of what you could do with this space if you so desired it. So I love when the builders do that because it gives you an idea of what you can do. Overall though, there is still more to go. The show must still go on, and there's still so much more amazing things to talk about. So now that we're finished with the primary bedroom and bathroom, let's go outside so you can see just what there is to offer out there. All right, I got you. I know we're not outside yet, just because there's still this other feature before we get out there, which is this cabana bath. Now this cabana bath is actually kind of off the primary, does give you access to the outside area as well. And this cabana bath does have that shower, walk-in shower with the tile up to the ceiling, just really clean, really elegant looking space. And the reason I wanted to wait till this is because what do you typically need a cabana bath for? Here in Florida, normally we have a cabana bath when we have a pool in our backyard. Now, sometimes you'll see people add them in ahead of time and then do the pool later, but in this case, the builder did a pool with this model home, and believe it or not, the builder can do a pool if you build with them from the ground up. So overall, it's great to see that. And in addition to the pool, we also have this massive outdoor area. It's not screened in, but you easily could screen this area in. And they did a really cool tile out here, more of like a porcelain tile look, but it has like a little bit of a grit to it, so you don't have to ever worry about slippage if it gets wet. And so overall, it just gives that very high and elegant look as well. So you have this massive oversized area over here as more of a lounging area, maybe a fourth living room if we want to go that far, just more outside. But then we also have our outdoor dining area off over here next to our actual dining room on the other side of that wall. So again, another situation, we have a 6-seater table in here, but you can easily do an 8-seater table, and really does allow you to be able to host gatherings outside as well on days like today where it's absolutely beautiful and stunning out. I'm not gonna do it, but boy, do I wish I could just jump in that pool right now and truly enjoy living here in Jacksonville. In addition, we do have some surround sound speakers inside and outside. Something you can do with the builder, but ultimately you have to just see if it's something you want, or maybe you just have it pre-wired and add the speakers later. Out here is gonna be your outdoor gas fire pit once it gets added in. But again, additional space to be able to hang out and relax. And then we have our pool. So the pool over here, it's actually one of the first times this builder has actually put a pool in with one of their models. Just kind of shows you, highlights just how amazing they wanted to go with this house. But this pool gives you everything you need. You have your little hot tub area, you have your little lounger area, and you have your pool, deeper area in the middle towards the end. So that way, again, if the kids want to play there and you want to hang out in the hot tub, you easily could with this space. And again, how could you not love the preserved backyard? One thing about this community is all of their lots, not all of them, but a lot of them back up to either preserve or water or both. So you really can't go wrong there. In addition, this specific floor plan and all the other floor plans they have to offer, they go on their 70-foot wide and 80-foot wide lots. So really great size across the board, and really does give you a product that you'll love coming home to. But again, it's great that you love coming home here, but also why did you move to Jacksonville? Why are you thinking about moving to Jacksonville? Well, I'm gonna go over right now a lot of the reasons why people choose to move and live here in Jacksonville, Florida. So let's get right into it. All right, so that's gonna finish the walkthrough of this amazing floor plan. Now, here today, we are actually in one of the amazing communities that we have here in Jacksonville, Florida, one of the newest communities we have here, which is Silverleaf. And this specific house we're in today is actually built by Riverside Homes, a local builder here in Jacksonville, Florida. We don't have too many of them left here, especially for more larger communities like this, but Riverside Homes does an amazing job, and we always love working with them because of their attention to detail and how personable they are throughout the process. But overall, when it comes to living here in Jacksonville, when it comes to living here in Silverleaf, the reason people do choose to live here is because of the fact that we have some amazing amenities here. You know, you're gonna have not one amenity center, you actually have multiple amenity centers. And where this community is located at right this second, the newest amenity center is being finished up as we speak. And that one will be finished probably next 6 months or so from the shooting of this video, which is mid to late 2025. But as you saw with this floor plan, I mean, yes, the floor plan's amazing, the house is amazing, and yeah, the amenities are amazing. But another reason why people choose to live here is because a lot of families have chosen Silverleaf as the destination due to the amazing schools here in St. Johns County here in Jacksonville. So with these schools here, it really does make it an area where people have gravitated towards because of the schools, the amenities, but also due to the fact that with living here in Jacksonville, living here in Silverleaf, you know, you're not too far away from some other amazing cities in Florida and Georgia. You know, whether you want to take a trip, and you may not want to as much in an amazing house like this, but whether you want to take a trip to, say, Orlando, you're only 2 to 2.5 hours away from Orlando. Let's say you want to go to Miami. You know, you're only 5 hours away from Miami. Tampa, you're 4 hours. Let's say you want to go to Georgia, you want to go to Savannah, 2 hours away from Savannah. Atlanta, 6 hours. So that's the great thing about living here in Jacksonville is, you know, due to the cost of living, we are very much a more affordable city compared to cities like Miami, Tampa, and Orlando, and Atlanta, but we're not too far away from them. So you don't have to worry about flying. You can easily drive around to those cities and make weekend trips out of it, or maybe even just like week trips out of it. So you do have a lot of ability for that as well. So again, that makes it a huge draw for people here, including the fact that with where we're located, you know, we do have a lot of traction, a lot of things you can do around the city. But if it's going to the beach, we're only about 30 minutes or so from the beach. Or if it's going and watching the Jacksonville Jaguars, our major league football team, or the Jacksonville Jumbo Shrimp, one of our minor league baseball teams, you know, you have a lot of things you can do around town as well. So that really becomes a major attraction for people when they're thinking about moving and living here in Jacksonville. But getting back to where we're at today, as I mentioned, this is a Riverside Homes model home we're in today here in Silverleaf. And this specific model is the Avondale 2. You know, I want to make sure I gave you the most updated pricing as of this moment and obviously specs of the house. But the Avondale 2 floor plan is one of their most popular floor plans here for a lot of what you saw today. And overall, this floor plan, it's a 3-car garage, as we highlighted. It is actually, the way they did this one, it's a 5-bedroom, 5-bath floor plan. And this one's actually 4,134 square feet. But do keep in mind, the Avondale 2, the starting size is actually 3,644 without the additional bump outs, and starts off typically as a 4-bedroom, 4-bath, which you can go up to from there. And again, the Avondale 2 just means we have the bonus up top, just for reference. Now, before I get into price, and I do like to also mention the current incentives, do keep in mind, those are always subject to change. So if you want to get the most updated pricing, the most updated incentives right this second, you gotta call me, text me, email me, so I get you those most updated numbers as we speak. But currently, the pricing on the Avondale 2 starts at $974,900. So to get a house just like this, you're definitely gonna be over $1 million, but you get so much for it. So it makes a lot of sense, and it's why people are constantly buying this floor plan with Riverside Homes right this second. In addition, for the incentives, They are always subject to change. So if you actually want to know what they are right this second with Riverside here in Silverleaf, again, you just got to call me, text me, email me. Always happy to help get those questions answered for you and make sure you're as knowledgeable as you can about who to go through to buy your next home here in Jacksonville, Florida. And, you know, what builder makes the most sense for you and your family, and what neighborhood makes the most sense for you and your family. So without getting any deeper into that, I will see you guys in our next video, and we'll go from there.